welcome back to the Ramble. We are your co-hosts, Greg Plucennik and Jakub
Hello.
And we're joined today by this guy sitting across from me, Adam Plucennik, is it?
Yeah, no, sorry, bit of a rando. Actually dragged me in off the street, but
we're getting
I'm just happy to be involved, to be honest.
Yeah, glad to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
And I think the first question I'm going to ask you is a bit of an icebreaker question, just to,
get it started.
Get to see your personality a little bit. Yeah, obviously. What is your earliest memory?
Got my earliest memory? I'm not sure. I can remember like bits of nursery, and I remember slamming's a strong word. I remember shutting a door on Greg, my brother's head.
Yeah, I remember too.
On the way to a party.
So, mind, what A levels did you do?
I did maths, physics, and history, and I did a year of further maths as well, but then I dropped that. I was planning on dropping history because that's the one that goes with the others the least, physics, maths, further maths, That's classic. But I know, I just really enjoyed it, to be honest.
What was your favourite subject of all those?
Physics.
And that leads on to the next one. You're doing physics at university now.
I am. I'm doing a master's degree, like integrated master's in theoretical physics at Durham University.
And would you say it's like a massive step up from A-level physics to degree-level physics?
The physics-wise, I don't think the jump is too hard. Maths-wise, I'd always been reasonably good at maths. It was never too difficult, but the jump from A-level maths to university level was pretty high. I didn't revise for my physics exams at uni, because I revised for maths instead because I knew that it was considerably trickier, but there's no maths in second year.
So just for everyone listening, could you explain a little bit how the system works? So do you have like maths modules in a university? Do you sit with all the maths people?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have a certain number of required modules for your course. So if you want to do, say, a physics degree, you'll have to do foundations in physics and a practical bit and something like that, and you can't do anything outside of that. And then for me, they said, here are some other modules you can take. One could be absolutely anything you like, so I could have done Intro to Japanese if I wanted. I did an astrophysics one, and then we had to do two that were maths related. So it's either single maths A and single maths B, which is kind of the slightly easier one if you didn't do further maths. And then the higher one, you had a calculus and linear algebra, which is what I chose to do.
With your degree, you have some free time as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Are there any extracurricular stuff you do at university? So any like societies or kind of clubs you undertake there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a chess club because I'm a raging nerd, and then also I do boxing, so I get kind of both ends of the spectrum would be the...
chess and boxing.
The big ones, which are kind of opposites. And I've been to a couple of societies with people, but none of them I've particularly kept up with other than those two.
What about Curry Club?
And Curry Club, which was incredible, actually. You get a very heavily discounted curry, and then at the end there was a chili challenge, so it was who could eat the hottest chili, and I came third in the first one. I know.
You've still got about 3 years.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
And the first two people were throwing up, so I'm happy. I'm happy that I didn't get that far. But then the next time round we did go at Curry Club. The person who won had to be taken into hospital by ambulance because they kept on eating chilies just to prove that they could, but they couldn't. So they were taken to hospital.
More for them, I guess.
Yeah, more for them. They came across like a bit of a clown, to be honest.
Did they receive anything for that? Like, is there any reward for being first in Curry Club?
Yeah, you get given the only way to motivate students really, which is some alcohol.
Right.
So you get given a pack of beers.
Let's go. Is that the same in chess club? Is that the way to motivate them as well?
Honestly, going out to and drinking after chess club is definitely a highlight,
So, now we've heard everything that happens at university. Let's take a step back. How did you get there? Did you do any extracurriculars that really boost your personal statement, do you think?
So I used to tutor maths for kind of year, I want to say 9, or I think it might have been 10, might have been the beginning of GCSE. That was I quite enjoyed that actually. Quite nice to, just to help someone get better, and you kind of, I think teaching something as well is quite a good test of your skills. You really understand when you're trying to teach something, just how well you know all the aspects of this, particularly if they ask a more difficult question.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's probably the most useful one. I mean, I've also done like stuff that wasn't really on the person, so I've done like, I do guitar and stuff like that, but that doesn't really come in terms of getting into uni. I don't think that's super important.
I know you did NCS as well. Do you think that was a big part? Do you think you learned like team building skills, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, NCS, I just had a lot of fun at NCS, and I think that's... Well, I think it does help, but I think quite a lot of people do NCS and DME, and they're definitely worth putting on the statement, because they are, it's something that you've put time into, and it just shows that you've been committed to going to uni from an earlier age. But I don't think it's something that's like if you don't have it, I wouldn't worry about not doing a particular thing.
And let me just clarify, when you were tutoring maths, was that with Mrs. Ball?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone who's listened that would like to have the opportunity, if you just go see Miss Ball, she's definitely going to find you a place so you can go and help out with the year below.
So why was it, out of all the universities, why did you go to Durham?
Durham has a college called University College, or castle, where you get to live in a castle, and I thought that sounded pretty cool, so I applied there, and it was good for physics too.
So finally, do you have any tips for students still at King's for writing their personal statement?
The most useful thing I can say is to just I'd read some books. You can have a look at the university's recommended reading list. They'll all have that on their website, kind of thing you should be reading. And you probably don't want to read those specific books. You probably want to read some books that are similar to that, because everyone applying for those uni will have those same books. So anything that lets you stand out just a bit, I think will be helpful. But just reading and doing some MOOCs, I think those are probably the most useful things you can do on your personal statement, and also not leaving it to the last minute so that teachers can look at it and edit it and
then
improve it.
Just to further that, I'd say doing some MOOCs slightly outside of the subjects you're thinking about studying, just to see if you would actually like to do something a little bit different.
Just to test the waters, I think it's a really good way to get started and kind of figure out what you want to do, particularly if you've got quite a broad area that you don't quite know.
Yeah.
You're interested in multiple things.
Any questions for us?
Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been doing the podcast?
So we would have started just after Christmas, early 2022.
Yeah, and I remember the first time we came in to do the episode, we had no idea, because we came into this exact room that we're recording in, and we kind of explained the idea to everyone. But we don't have a clear idea of what to do.
No.
But now we've got a more reformed kind of, this is what it's meant to be like.
You got your segments down. You've got
Yeah, I remember we made like 2 pages of just loads of notes.
Yeah. And now we've cut it down to maybe like a page and a half.
Yeah.
So it's definitely gone.
It's smooth now.
Yeah, I'd say that. And I think we had a lot of questions beforehand, like really a lot of regimented ones, which made the episodes really long. And so now we're kind of cutting it down a little bit. Thank you very much, Adam, for coming on to the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me on.
I know that if there are some teachers out there who had Adam in their class, they'd be ecstatic to hear you back on.
Miss Jones is a big fan of the podcast.
Exactly, yeah, she is. Yeah.
Oh, love Miss Jones.
So she's going to love hearing this. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. And as always, I'll see everyone next time. Bye-bye.